Hello boys, I'm back. Did you miss me? I've been a bit busy actually, so I couldn't actually stream in the last few days, but now I'm back. Now I'm back, and let me just advertise on Facebook. I already advertised on IRC, and I think we can, yes, we can advertise on Facebook as well and see if some people join. How are you today? You can chat. You can chat here in the YouTube chat, or you can chat also in Discord if you want to join Discord. We have a channel. I can give you the invite. The Discord channel. Discord channel is this one, the one I just pasted on the YouTube chat. Okay. Okay, good. So it's some time I don't stream. I mean, a few days. So I have to recap a bit of what where we were. Right. I think there is something that we were doing about talking with NPC that was not fully completed, and we have now to complete. So I think we have something nice to do today, which is to complete the interaction with NPCs and see if we can get the proper answers back, and maybe we then can go to quests, maybe work with quests as well. Let's see. That could be an idea. Let me just, I'm advertising on Facebook while a few people join. One second, I'm just pasting the, There is stream number 9. So it means we already streamed for 9 days, about 4 hours or more each day. I mean, sometimes it's been 8 hours, but you will see all the videos that you can that I did. You can see them on YouTube if you want to watch back. Maybe you can just skim through it, you know, load it and just go quickly through it and see what we were doing. I think there is one stream which was particularly informative, which starts with the architecture. So I think you may want to look at it if you want. I want to keep the stream as interactive as possible, so just chat with me, and you know, and let's have fun together. Hey Tua, how are you? Nice to see you. Tua was one of the former developer of the Planeshift game, and he has contributed a lot. He has contributed in sounds, in music, in effects, in a lot of things. So he was working on the old engine together with the rest of us, and he did a lot in the past. So, but now let's say I think he's waiting the new Unreal Engine, right? I think he is, like everyone is, so that we can work with better tools, with better workflow, with a better tool chain, right? I think would be much better. Okay, so let's go back and check what we did. So the easiest way, when you don't recall exactly where you were, is to go back to your SVN, and from the SVN just check the latest check-in. This is exactly what we are gonna do. So we are gonna go to our old project, to our SVN projects, and just do an SVN log. Just do an SVN log and see how it is. Okay. So the last time I streamed was the 21st of February, so 4 days ago. Yes, then I had to travel a bit and I was not available. One thing that we did, we updated for the new release of Unreal Engine. So we updated our source code. Actually, there was basically nothing to do apart from changing these two target files, this target CS client and server. So it was pretty easy. I also upgraded the Crystal Hunt game, which is the one that yes, we use a bit to test some of the capabilities. Okay, And before that we did an NPC, an NPC coordinate from database, spawn the NPC out capsule. Yes, so this was the kind of spawning piece that we did. And then if we go, let me just check the difference that we have in terms of files that have been changed. These are some of the files that we have changed. Actually, we didn't commit this. I don't know why, but anyway, we will commit it today. So let me check the differences. Yes, we changed the dictionary, mainly the find response, if you remember, from gem NPC to APS character. So why we did this? Because the gem NPC is the old Crystal Space way to manage entities in the game. So to manage any object, any NPC that we created on top of Crystal Space, we don't have this anymore. We will not use this anymore. So everywhere we have this kind of tag, we can remove it and we can substitute it with our APS character, right? Which is our new Unreal Engine character, right? Okay, so this is what we did. Let me check the other files, like in PS character. Let me check what we did. We added some functions, in particular setup dialog and add back text, which were taken from the old gem NPC, right? Again, that we don't have anymore, but so those functions have been migrated inside PS character. And we did some changes also to the character loader. We simplified the way we find the capsule in a simpler way. So with a code, it is much simpler. By the way, I don't remember if I posted this to the Unreal Engine forums. Probably I didn't post it. Could be a good idea to post it, because this one is a bit convoluted actually to get the half height of the character. So maybe one thing that we can do is to go back to that question and search in Google for Unreal Engine capsule half height and see if we find back our post, and so we can improve it. Can I check all my latest posts, because that would be easier? Yeah, here it is. I want to find my last answer on the capsule. It's not here. It's not here. I was expecting it to be here. We have 5 people watching. Hello, 5 people. Do you see it? No. Project saving, native blueprint. Is this showing all the ones that I posted or only a few? '24th of February. Let me check this one. I don't think it was this one, right? 24th of February 17. No, this is pretty old. I think we posted more. I don't know why it's not keeping all the answers here for some reason. There it is. Maybe the overview is not giving you all. There is all the activity, which is much more exactly. So inherit capsule placed inside ground. We did this. When we posted this piece of code, I would like to change it and improve it so that we did alpha by using this code, and I would say alternative code I used previously was this one, but the one above is better, is shorter or is simpler, and achieves the same results I think it's always good, I mean, when we can, to contribute a bit to the to the community knowledge. Where's the one below? so that other people can actually leverage what we find, right? What we found. So let's make it a code. Let's just check. U object, my character blueprint class default object. Okay, so this is the piece of code. I think we can post it like this, and at least everyone else can find it. Good. Good. So let's restart quickly Unreal. Well, let me check first the code. So the last time, yes, we were in the middle of this conversion, right? So there were still few pieces, but it was too late. It was like 2 a.m. my time, so I really needed to go, and we didn't finish it. But I was basically trying to have the talk interaction code work properly, right? And this means that whenever we are clicking on the NPC, we are sending a message to the server, which in this case is like hi. It's just a kind of a hi message, and we want as a result the answer from the character, which is yes, which is taken from the database. I think we did, yes, this was the schema we used the last time. I don't know if you remember. If you were here, maybe you do. And here there was this idea of client and server, which are actually separate, but they are sharing some of the code. For example, our character is shared between client and server. The inventory is shared as well. When we are speaking about NPC dialogues, on the client we send out a hi, and through these tables that are triggers, responses, and potentially quests, depending on which is the text that we send, we want to have an answer, right? We want to have an answer. So this is exactly what we are doing now. So porting from the old Planeship to the new engine, this piece, okay? That is what we are doing. Now let me see where we left. We left inside this talk interaction function, which is actually running on player controller. Remember, the player controller is always running on the server, at least for this piece, and then it can run on the client as well. But this one is called, this talk interaction is called by the server side, because we enter inside here. Yes, we enter here and we go into this function, talk interaction. So let's see what is missing, what is missing to do. Okay, so we construct, we assume the NPC is alive, okay, because yes, we at the moment we don't have really combat implemented, so we don't have a death state. So at the moment we just check that the NPC is valid, so that the target that was passed in by this function here is actually valid. If it's valid, we just do a to lower to the trigger, which is the text, because we don't want to mess up with case. And then we just get from the NPC his brain, let's say, or his knowledge. This NPC dialogue is the knowledge of the NPC, so everything that he knows, all the answers to the questions, right? To the question that we ask. So we check if this NPC dialogue is actually valid. If it's not valid, okay, we just do something else. If it's valid, the first thing we want to do is to check for a specific distance, right? So we want to check, so there is no comment here, but always remember to comment your code as much as you can. So we can say here, get the NPC dialogue which contains all triggers and answers, okay? Yes, so this is what we do. So here we just check the player is close enough, to the NPC to speak with him or her. So this means that the yes, for example, if you activate the talk and then you move away, okay, you will not be able to speak anymore with this guy, right? Which makes sense. We don't want people to just activate and then go inside their home and start to speak with NPC from 1 kilometer distance, right? So, hey Soup, how are you? Welcome to the stream. So we are 7 people now. Hello. So we go here, we check this maximum distance, which is basically this one. Actually, Unreal has a very simple function, which is this get distance to get the distance between two actors, which is great. Yeah, which is pretty great. Let me just send a message to a guy that I met recently, which is actually a pretty big fan of Unreal, and he wanted to know what we were doing, right? And I want to send him a message saying that we are live. I will do it just quickly. 1 second. 1 second. So here, I will say I am live now. On YouTube, Plane Shift Official. Plane Shift Official. Okay, maybe this guy will join as well. Good. Okay, so this is what we do, right? This is what we do. Then we just print out a kind of a log just to know that we are going through this, and we are printing the target, so who we are speaking with, and we are printing the trigger, so the message that we sent to the NPC. Right, which is pretty cool. Then what do? We get as a result, right? We want to get as a result not a text, because you see this result is a text, but actually NPC dialog response is giving me back an NPC response, which is a bit more articulated than just a text, right? So it's basically a structure. So what we can do to understand this better, we can go in the old code. Remember that whenever you see white background is the old PlaneShift code. When you see black background is Unreal. Okay, so it's the Unreal code. Right, so we are going to the old one. We are checking exactly this one. NPC check events. We check the distance. We return this. Now we return this NPC response. I would like to check what then the old code does with this response. Right? You see, this response is getting checked for for validity. Then we are executing. Interesting. We are executing a script based on the response. Why we do this? Because the response can be text, but the response can also be commands. So, for example, the NPC may bow or may wave, as a result of our request. So this is why we are not just returning the pure text, but we are executing a script in case there are some actions. Then I don't know exactly what is this piece of code. If delay different from the current time -1 and response menu. So response menu. I think we are opening a menu with the actual response, because in the old game we had say visual menus on screen for all the responses, which I think we should still have, so we have to recreate those. But for now, let's say that we keep it just as text. And then the show menu, response menu, show menu. Let's check what it does, because I want to understand better what the old code was doing. IntelliSense, yeah, it's taking time. IntelliSense is taking time. Okay, show menu, here it is. So we go inside dictionary, this show menu. Let's see if we have a description, maybe. Displays the menu on the client. Yes, this is the description, eh? So what it does, it just current quest, getting character data. It checks if we are testing or if we are a GM. Then it gets all the trigger. It fetches the prerequisites. There is a bit of logic in here, which I think we should take, because here I think it's checking if the quest is actually active. is checking if the character is meeting the prerequisites, right? The reason of this is that we have some what we call factions. So basically, an NPC may be, I don't know, the cat people, no, the Enkidukai race, and maybe your character for some reason has a bad reputation with the Enkidukai race, and so we want certain answers to be given only if the threshold of reputation is met, right? And this is what we are doing here. So we are checking if there is any prerequisite in the actual trigger. It's possible to specify prerequisites in the database, like when we have here in the trigger, you see prerequisite. Now I don't know if in the example there is any prerequisite. Let me see if I can open this one. If I can view, let me just view this. Okay, thank you. I want it as a text. Okay, it is the text. Don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I'm making it a bit bigger. Basically, there is exactly one prerequisite on a faction which says if the faction is at least 0, so it's not negative, then you will get this answer. If it's negative, you will not get this answer. Maybe you will get another one. Right? Let me check this one. Yes, exactly. This one says if the faction is not 0, you see this not, it's not 0, then you will get this other answer. So in one case we are getting I will train you. In the other case we get no way I will train you. Right? It's no way I will train you. So and it is based on the faction. So I think we want that. We want a piece of code. We still want that piece of code in our new code and in Unreal. The point is if we should port it now or we should port it later, because at the moment I would like at least to get an answer, and then when we get an answer, do this as well. So let me check chat manager. So here we are basically executing the script, and then we are, so I think we should place like 2 placeholders in our new code just to remember this piece of code, and just to say hello, the old code was doing this, and we will do it later, right? Because we check the distance is fine. We print this, but then I think we can place this and say you fix me old code was executing a script for the response, and old code was also well showing a menu, and in the code for showing the menu, what he was doing, we said that he was like checking the prerequisites. And does it do anything else? Fetch prerequisite, check availability. Not as GM we show quest, and if it's a lockout, yeah, GM has some additional information. So if he's a game master trying to get this answer from the NPC, and maybe the quest is a timed quest, so he locks for I don't know 1 day, and then he is available again. The game master will get this message, so we know that the quest is currently locked, and we'll tell him also some additional stuff, right? Like when he will unlock and things like this. So I think all of this is very good code. I just don't understand why it is inside a show menu, right, kind of thing. I think it should have been separate, but it's fine. I think it should be, yeah, should have been separate. But for now, that is what we do. So let's say showing menu and checking prerequisites. Check menu, checking prerequisites, and what else? And there's then it's doing a lot of stuff here though, which I think we need, because here, for example, check to see about inserting a quest heading. Hello, what is going on? My Visual Studio is freezing. My Visual Studio just froze. Let me see if it's just the old one. Yeah, just the old one. It's just the 2010. I think it will crash most likely. Okay, it's back. Nice. So I was so check about interesting quest hidden adding and menu text substitute keyword on if it triggers in the quest not the quest ID. Yeah, here is doing already all the checks needed for a quest. You see, if it's a quest, it does something. If it's not part of the quest, then it's a bit easier. You know, it's just answering to yes, and then it's adding a response to the menu. Then it's building the message. In the end, is sending the message, right? Right. So, but there is a lot of code actually in this function that I think we should take back because the fact that if it's a quest or not a quest, I think we should keep it, right? Now the question is, do we want to put all this code in this function, which is the talk interaction, or do we split it in a sub-function somewhere? Because it seems to me that here, I think we should have a function that just does all the necessary checks, and then when we have the hi Ricardo, welcome. And then when we do the when we have all the checks properly done, then we move on and we give the response, right? Because all this seems to be more checks than anything else to me. I mean, we are not changing the answer here. We are just doing all the possible checks. If it's a quest, if it's not a quest, right? What is going on with my Visual Studio is completely crazy. I mean, the new one works well. The old one is just, you say, is doing something weird. I think I should just close it and restart it. Let me just close the Visual Studio and restart it. Something is not working in that thingy. Visual Studio. No, I need the old one. What is the old one? Where do I have the old one? I just have to. I think I have it on right click. So let's open back the old code. The old code is somewhere inside. Sorry, I'm on another screen. On another screen, searching for the right. Where is it? I had it open since a long time, so now I don't find it anymore. Is it here? No, it's not here. I think I have to organize better these directories because all the time I kind of lost into my own hard disks. Should be here somewhere. Wait a second. I think if you find Visual Studio, it's probably easier. So Visual Studio 2010. Yeah, it's here. Okay, so we will just launch this and then we go to recent, and I think it's easier. I don't know where we have it. Recent project solution. There it is. So it's under F. Okay, it's the drive F. So that's why. Is the drive F is under PS. Let me just check. What is this thing? It's under Luca and then Crystal Space. Okay. I think I need a kind of a bookmark to this. Otherwise, I will never find it again. Yes, and this is not my main PC. I mean, it's the PC I use for development. So sometimes I. Okay, so we have it. We have it back. So we were checking. Just make it a bit bigger. We were checking this function here. So the response, like the response SQ script. I think if we search this, we will find it easy. Maybe the file is not open yet. Let's see. Sorry, I did the entire solution, which is not a good idea because it's super big, but there it is. Okay, chat with NPC. Okay, so we have this PC here, and then we have the show menu. Right? We were looking at this. We're looking inside show menu. So all this code all this code I think we should somehow put into a function, and because this, let me check if I have it, because this npc dialog menu I actually already ported dictionary.cpp, so we should have this into our Unreal code. So npc dialog, what is it? Is under bulk objects or is under server? PS npc dialog, I think should be under server, right? PS, no, it's not there. So the file is, sorry, it's under dictionary. Dictionary is under, yes, bulk objects. Okay, so it's here. And we are searching for npc dialog show menu. Let me see if I ported this already. Yes, I ported this already. Obviously, it doesn't mean that it works, but it means that at least it compiles, right? So we have this function already, which is called show menu. Should we keep it the same? What does it take as an input? It takes the client, which doesn't exist anymore, so this one has to be removed, and it takes the NPC. Okay, and then it goes through. Where does it get this triggers thing? This trigger, I think, is taken from. Yeah, it's just a member of this class. It's just a member of this class, and it's probably loaded npc dialog menu. Hold the trigger menu if it exists for a given location in a dialog. Right. The only question is, are we filling this out when we are starting? You know, that is something I don't know. If we are actually loading these triggers properly, because this piece of code was actually not, I mean, we never executing this. So let me just check if there is a constructor, because here is assuming that the triggers is populated, okay, because it's running on triggers.num and something like this. So we have to check if these triggers are filled out anywhere. Here we are still in show menu, which I don't care too much. I care for, here it is. Set prerequisite script, triggers that are prerequisite. Okay, here we are just setting the prerequisites, but here we are not really filling the triggers. Triggers i.quest, the little menus. Here it is, the add function. The add function is the one that is, hello, whoever joined, welcome to the stream. If you want to chat, you can chat in the YouTube channel, or you can chat in Discord as you want. We have a Discord as well, so it's up to you. And if you want to chat here, you have to register a Google account, I think, because if you're not registered, it doesn't allow you to chat. So here is where we populate this. Do you think that we are actually executing this when we are launching the server? I mean, are we actually doing something on this? NPC menu, NPC dialog menu add, because I'm not fully sure we are calling this, you know. Let me check just in this document if we have any add on NPC dialog menu. This is a tmap. NPC dialog there is not easy to go back and understand. Responses, multi-map. So here we are creating all our responses and triggers, but I don't know exactly. NPC dialog dict. Here it is. Found add menu. So there is a kind of an add menu thingy, which is I think it works only for quests, but you see there's PS quest, so I think he adds specific menus only for quests, right? Let me check where this is called from. It's not called from here, which is interesting. It's not called from inside this class. It's called from somewhere else. Store an initial trigger menu with a specified NPC name. Store a menu with the dictionary. This is hacky. There is a note saying that this is hacky. But it stayed there for like 10 years, so I think it should be good enough. Is anyone else calling this add menu? No one. Okay, let's try to do current project and see if we find any calls to this freaking add menu thingy. Wow. No. Okay. So I think we should do. Really, is not called by anyone in this class. So it's called by something that is probably not ported yet. I think it's called by something in the old code that we didn't port to the new code yet. It's not here. Let's check server side. Here there was something, but it's been commented. Here also we had something, but is commented. And here it is. Okay. Where we are inside Quest Manager. Okay, so I think that this menu, NPC dialog menu, is used only for quests. Okay, which is not something that we want to bother now, but we will bother very soon because we want Quest to work as well, right, using the old code. So what we do here is, for now, I think we should leave this piece and not port it, right? Not port it. Just type the fact that yes, the old code was showing a menu checking the prerequisites, and also I would say the old code was creating or using the NPC. How is it called this thing? NPC dialog dict add menu. This thing, right? NPC dialog menu add. NPC dialog menu. Okay. NPC dialog menu to display different options when executing a quest. Yeah, when oops, what happens? Sometimes I press the freaking wrong key. Sorry, I press the Windows key. When executing a quest. So all of this is something that we'll have to do later on, okay? But we don't want to do it now because if we go to quests, if we try to make quests working now, it will take us so much time, and so I don't want to do it. So I will just for now ignore this piece, right? And we want to use, or maybe we can call it, but we call it just assuming that our triggers are empty, right? Because if our triggers are empty, I think it works. Let me check. So if we do, let me go back to where we were. We were here inside our response. Let me take, for example, no, not this one, this one, NPC dialog distance, right, which is one of the checks that we were doing. Let me just check, let me just search for this one, all open documents. Okay, it is where we check the distance. Then here is where we send the response. Return NPC dialog response. So this is where we search our actual text, right? So which is this phrase here. So this phrase here, was it doing all the checks on the quest before or after? I think it's inside of this. I think it's inside of the respond. No? Yes, it's inside of the respond, where it was doing all this stuff about. No, sorry, this is another one we didn't see yet. Clean punctuation, check pronouns, find terms, all of that I think we already have ported, luckily for us. And then it goes into find response. Okay, good. I think all this we have already. Just trying to understand the overall picture, and I'm a bit confused about it because it's so big. But I was just trying to see where this show menu was popping up. What the fuck was this? Where was the show menu? Where was the show menu? Check NPC event if he's alive. This is exactly the code that we have, but I think it's one above, right? Let me see because I think we did this thing. Check and responding to a question happens here. Okay, check NPC event and then NPC dialog respond, which is here. But if I go inside NPC dialog respond, I don't find any more the show menu, right? No, where was the show menu? Show menu. Show menu was the chat manager, chat NPC, check NPC event. There is another path though. There's another path, I think. Let me go up. Where we are here, we are in chat manager and handle chat message, which I think is above the two functions that we were just dealing with now, right? So I think this one is calling this, and then okay, I can do it, and then this one is calling this, right? So the handle chat manager is the one that does pet action NPC chat. Okay, these helps quest stay secret. Only the speaker says he's successful chatting in an NPC. Okay, yeah. Just to say that the answer is not broadcasted to all the other players, right? If you are inside a quest, you don't want the NPC to answer, oh yes, the magic place is this and this and this, right? And everyone else, even if it would make sense, because if you are next to the NPC, in theory you can listen to it, you know, if you're speaking to another player. But unfortunately, I don't think there is an easy way to solve it. So when you are close to an NPC, another player is doing a quest, you don't hear all the discussion. We assume that it becomes a private conversation for some reason. Right? NPC takes you on a corner or whatever and then speaks to you. The NPC is spoken to the digital client as a speaker. Okay, who cares? Check NPC event is this one, and then there is the show menu. Yeah. So in parallel, there is the show menu. So it is the check NPC, execute script, show menu. Check NPC. Check NPC. So this one. This one we don't do yet, right? But I think we should do. But this check NPC event is inside chat manager. Chat manager, we didn't import it yet, I think. Chat manager, let me see. Did I import chat manager? No, I didn't. Okay, this one we didn't import. So what we did, we just moved this piece, you know, this piece into our class, as you see here. You just ported it. Where was that? Come on. Yes, we just ported this piece from this class. So we ported the check of the range, and then we have this NPC dialog respond. I think we should just call this, and for now it's enough, you know. This NPC respond, this one. I just want to keep exactly the same sequence of the old code because I don't want that to lose myself, and then I have having, you know, different pieces. But basically it's doing this, it's doing the respond, then it's going back to the previous class where we were calling, you know, this check NPC, and from the check NPC, Yes. What is check NPC? This is the respond. Okay, we don't need this. And then we have the check NPC, which is here. Yes. And then we have the execute script and the show menu. So I think the sequence is correct. Okay, the sequence is fine. So we first do the respond, then we do the execute script, and then we do the yes, and then we do the show menu. So I think this thing, I'm saying it 2 times. Okay. So for now we just have this to work. Okay, just this piece. We want just this piece to work. Right? And we will ignore the execution of the script and the show menu. The only point is, okay, let's arrive up to this point, okay, which is fine. So why is not working? Because it doesn't like, well, first of all, it doesn't like this to be a text, which is fine. So I think we can just use this for now. We can just get our NPC response back. Respond wants a const char text. That's fine. We can even change it. Maybe we can change it to f string, so we have it. I don't think it makes sense to continue with const chars when basically all the code then is using. Let me just, yeah, you see here I was converting it to an f string anyway, so I mean, what's the point, right? So let's just pass directly ps text and just change the signature of this one also in the declaration. IntelliSense is getting crazy, but it's just here, so this becomes just an f string. Okay, just an f string, and we call it ps text exactly as this the other one. Okay, so we are now inside of this function. I think we will have soon IntelliSense understand that this is correct. And then what it needs? It needs yeah. It needs a client. It needs a client. Client we don't have anymore, right? Doesn't exist anymore in Unreal. That so we don't care about it. We want, so client, we have to remove it. Okay, we have to remove it. Instead of client, I think that we can pass the player controller if we need it, or we can pass in just the pointer to NPC dialog. Let me see. Respond. What is doing here? It's just working with the text, or is doing something more? It's taking the text, it's checking for parentheses, it's checking for stuff, converting to, it's taking pieces of the trigger if it's a trigger, removing punctuation, checking pronouns. So all this is just text, text parsing. We are parsing the trigger. Like hello is replaced with greetings. Clean punctuation again, find copy, get trigger. Dictionary check for trigger, substitute. I mean, it's doing a lot of stuff, but it's all text, so we don't care. We can leave this piece of the code exactly as it is. Then you're going to find response. Okay, this is probably where we need. No, we don't. I think it's fine. We don't need anything else. I think we can just remove the client. Let me see where he was using this client. Okay, so client, let's see in this piece of code if there is any part where he's actually using it. Seems to me it's not, right? I think it's not. So we can just remove it. We can just remove it for now. And we remove it also from the signature, right? From here. The only problem is that now it seems we changed text to ps text, and there are still some part where it was using the old text. Why? If trigger term length is equal to 0, so replace custom non-term again standard. I don't know what this piece of code is doing. You see the problem of not putting comments? That now I have to understand again what this fucking piece of code does. while if I had a comment, I could avoid losing time. But I think that for now we can just pass in our PS text. I don't think it makes any problem. Because here he's trying to get an error saying that there are no known words. So basically if he's parsing a trigger that he doesn't understand, he gets back. Yeah, anyway, I think it's fine. Are there other pieces where we use text? Yes, is here. I have no idea why. Because here is still as a char point, as a char. Isn't find response the same find response that we are in now? No, that is a respond. We just do tchar to ANSI of it, and that's it. What is this trigger get string? np3 trigger sequence get string. I don't know, it's something that we, okay, I think it's fine. So we just do this. And this find response should be fine, right? Should be fine. Okay, let's see if this thing compiles. I think we did the necessary changes, if I'm not mistaken, but we should have done the necessary changes needed. F7. I just associated F7 to compile current project because one time I misclicked, so I went here and instead of pressing on build, I press on rebuild, and rebuild is freaking recompiling the whole Unreal Engine. So yes, so I don't want to do that mistake anymore. So now I just press F7 and never click on that menu anywhere again. Hey, if you have any questions, if you're in the chat, if you have any questions you want to ask, I mean, of anything, I mean, we can keep it interactive, mainly while it compiles. If you have anything you want to know, like what the hell are you doing? It could be a good question. Okay, still 8 people watching. Thanks for staying here. I know meanwhile you're playing something else, but that's fine. That's fine. It's no problem. You can do multiple things while watching me, absolutely. Okay, it's recompiling. We see what errors we get. I think we will get some errors, so I'm not expecting it to go at the first run. But I think this piece should be pretty straightforward. Then we have to debug it, you know, because now we're going into the code where we are really giving back a response. And what we are expecting from this, we're expecting when we ask, when we say hi to her, I think it's this one, right? ID 11, trigger 4. She should just say, I'm just a simple peasant. I think that is what we should say. Or she should say fine and you. I don't know. I don't remember. We can check here the different triggers. So if you go to NPC triggers, she has the mail Enki, I think. Remember that we saw that she had the knowledge area, right? What is the knowledge area? Knowledge area, she is mail Enki, player ID 4, right? She has area mail Enki, you say? So there is the area of answers that she has. So if you go then to inside NPC triggers, we find all the answers, all the triggers for the particular area. In particular, we have to say Enkidukai. Okay, this is what we have to say, Enkidukai. So if we say this, she will answer, where are the responses? Factions, characters we have like 3 million times. She will answer, there is trigger 40. Trigger 40 Trigger ID. Yes. She will answer Enkidukai are a failing race. Right? So this will, yeah. So we have to send Enkidukai as a message and we get this back if everything works. Okay. This is our plan. This is our current plan. Okay, we still have some issues. Actually, there was a client. I removed it, but there was actually a client. He was here, so he's trying to get the current player and the current client. Now let's see what he's using this current player for. When I double click on it, it should highlight me, right? It should highlight all the occurrences, right? Yes, it does here. So he's using current player and current client. Current client is saying get character data, which is basically our APS character. So he's in need of our APS character. He's just checking if we are valid, like we didn't die in the meantime, we didn't disconnect in the meantime, you know, like we are saying a phrase and then we disconnect and the NPC cannot answer back to someone that disconnected. So this is just a check, I think, but nothing else, nothing more. And then there is a current client. Current client is used a lot. Current player seems is not used. Mainly is used for logs. See, it's mainly used for logs. So it's not really relevant, but current player. So this one I think is not used. Current client is used, and what it's doing is getting character data, which is fine. And then is current client get character data set last response. I think I don't remember why we were doing this, but I think that after we respond, we set the last response because there are some responses which won't depend to the other or something like this. So I don't remember the whole logic, you know, and I don't want to touch it. So we will use exactly the logic as it was. But I think we have to do this. We cannot avoid doing this, otherwise the dialogue system will break. I think it would break. Get character data, get quest set assign last quest respond. So we need this. We need this. Okay. So we need to pass in our character to this respond, right? Respond needs our character. It needs it. So where was this response coming? Anyone remembers this response? We were inside. I think it was another part of dictionary actually. So let me go here and check just a second on respond. What was the text that we had? We had NPC dialog respond. Yeah, it's inside NPC, so it's here somewhere. It's here in this document. No, it's not here. It's not here. It's here. Okay, we were inside the talk interaction. I was inside the player controller. Okay, so we can put in the player controller. I think is the best. I think we want to propagate in general player controllers to these kind of functions. I think is something we want to do. I think we do it also on the other interactions, if I'm not mistaken. Like this request interaction, we pass on the APS character, right? Which is the target. Now here we have the target, which is actually is not us though. The target is the lady that we are speaking with. Yes, the NPC. But wait a second. I remember there was a way. Send character description, because I remember I discussed it the other time. There was a way to get the character directly. Send character description. Get a current player controller. There's it. That's it. Is this one? This thingy. Is this thingy? And for the car, yeah. So I think that we said we don't need to pass on, you know, the character. We can just work it this way. Let me see someone from Unreal Engine. I think it's too early, eh? In US, it's still early. So no, not many people are here. Okay, so let's go and put this piece of code inside our response. So we don't need actually to pass in our player character. We can just get it here, right? So we get the current player controller with this thing. We need the character data. Wait a second. We need the character data though. Well, if we need the character data, we are exactly the same. We have exactly the same issue. If we need the character data, we are back to base though. Where was it? Was here? Here, target. I mean, it's not this way. I often don't use target because if I use target, makes no sense. Player description, actor, simple request. So here we don't have any pointer to the current character, right? Yes, we said that I can get. Is this correct? That I can get the player controller from any. Are we sure of this? I mean, if I use another NPC, I can get the player controller on any object. Let me check the documentation a second, but yes, it's a U object. So, interesting. So you can pass in any object of the current world, and it will return you the player. The current player. I'm not 100% sure of this thing though. But not 100% sure. I remember we were discussing with Matthias the other time. Matthias, are you here? I don't know if you are here. But if you are here, I would like to just be sure that this is pointing to me, because I don't want it to point to someone else, to some other player. Otherwise, we will really fuck up things. But let's assume for a second that it is. So if that it is, we can just pass in the target. But the target we don't have here because there is a response. So I think we should not do it here because it's not clean enough. I think we should do it from the check events or whatever it was. Alright. Respond, we should do it from where we call the respond, right? And here we can move it exactly. I think we should do it here. We have our target, which is fine, and so here we can get the current player character. I think is the best place to do it. Why don't just do? Sorry, we are here inside the player controller. Why I just don't do get phone and who cares, you know? Yeah, I mean, I can just do this. This is me, so I pass me here, and this me, I just have to change the signature to APS character pointer me, and we do the same, in the definition, declaration, how it's called. The dot h, yes, okay. So now respond takes also as a parameter me, which I think is what we want, and inside the response now instead of current client equal client, I think we will just use me. Or do we want to do this? We want to do this. Why we have this current client is something inside the NPC dialog, huh? I think it is, right? I don't know if it's a great idea to have it here, but it's fine. NPC dialog. Just check the .h for a second. NPC dialog. There should be a variable inside of this, which is current player, current client. This class exists per NPC, and also all the dialog trigger responses and script for this particular NPC, building reference to user knowledge areas. Yeah, I'm just struggling a bit on why we need to set a pointer to the player when we are executing this bit, but anyway, let's just leave it as it is. I don't want to get crazy now. And client, yes, this will not be client anymore. I think it will be, we can just keep, so client we can remove 100%. Let's just keep current player, and current player we make it APS character, right, which is our thingy. And here we go current player. Yes, and here we go current player. I think I like it uppercase more than not. And here in our code where we have current client, we go current player and current player. I just have to check if this is okay, but I assume it is, and I press on compile. Alright. This is the music of the Death Realm, which has been composed by this guy called Jiri Ptacek. The year is not correct. Here it says 2010, but it's not correct. It's not correct. 65 errors. Oh my god, what happened? Why 65 errors? Ah, crap! I cannot delete it because this current client is used by other by other functions. So if I delete it, I have to change it all now, which we don't want. Okay, deal. So let's leave the current client for now, just for compatibility with the past. Who cares? And then when we will use those functions, we will slowly remove it. Okay. Otherwise, this class will not compile anymore. And at the moment, we are using just one or two methods of this class. All the other methods are just there for to be used later on. This song is also very cool. This song is made by the same guy, and it's called The Citadel. Okay, let's see where we have our arrows now. So there is still a piece in our response which is using the client. So it's using. So here we are passing on our text, the trigger, which has been found, I don't know where, but somewhere here. Trigger. And then we have. Sorry, someone is speaking. Yeah. Yeah, there is a guy in a Real Engine which is saying that we are doing too much C++, you know, to make the stream entertaining. I agree, but the target for me is really the game, is not the stream. I mean, I'm not trying to make the stream just for the sake of making the stream, you know, and keeping it entertaining and then not moving on with the game. So I just want to stream when I'm developing, so people can see what I'm doing. That's it, and just we can interact a bit. But I don't want to make the stream just entertaining and then having. Also because I don't have time to develop offline and then make the stream entertaining. I mean, I don't think it's my job. My job is to make the game. That's what we are doing. Okay, so but the C++ will bring us to some results soon. So don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. The C++ will bring us somewhere. Okay, on the UI, on the interaction with the NPC. Don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. So also this function has a problem because this function is taking our text, is returning, I think, this trigger, right? Maybe. Obviously, and is in need of the client. So we should check also for this function if it needs the client or not. If it does, we just pass on again the current player. Okay, so let's just go to the definition and see. So client, what is this client used? There's never used. Well, why when I double click? I'm expecting when I double click to have it highlight, you know. Yes, it does. Eh? Text. He highlights this. Why when I press client it doesn't highlight anything? Because probably it's not used here, right? So if it's not used, we can just remove it. I don't care about leaving things that are not needed. Sorry, here is filter known terms. Yes, we can just remove this client for now. If we will need it later, we add it back, but for now it's not something that we need. Then another thing that it says is get character data is not a member of APS character. I think yes, we should just go set last response. I think set last response is probably already a member of this in the same year. I think the same year. Also current player was used in quite few places. Current player, client get actor, current player, client get actor, but all those functions unfortunately are not bringing us anywhere because all of this are basically empty. So we can just remove it, I think. Let me just check where it is used then. We have another PC here, which is his client get security level. And I think the security level. Do we have the security level on which object? In the old code. In the old code, the get security level was on gem actor. Okay. Was on gem actor. We don't have this anymore. So let me check in the new code if we have it anywhere else. We have it on gem actor. I think we have to move this to. We have to move this to our player. I don't think it makes any sense to keep it on the Get security level is very important because it's basically the one that is deciding if our player is a GM, is a game master, or is a normal player, or is an admin, or whatever, right? And based on the security level, we do a lot of things. So we define, so for example, you see here this piece of code, we do like if security level is lesser than GM level, then it don't tell something. Otherwise it tells something. So the problem is that I don't have a get security level at the moment on my APS character. Do I need it on my APS character? I think I absolutely need it. I think I absolutely need it. Without security, we are dead, right? So let me see. Is there any security level in APS character? I don't think there is. It's just going to the client and going back to the client, and no, there's not. It's okay. We have to add it back. I think we have to add it back. When our character is loaded, we should also load the security level. So let's take this function, which I think is just an int, by the way. I mean, it's just super simple, right? Just to say, yeah, set security level, get security level, and then this one is just an int. So super simple. I think we should have these two functions moved from gem actor to our player, and we do this, and we do it now. So it's done. So we put it, where do we put it? We put it inside. First of all, we need to have the right class, which is APS character, and we put it inside here, load stereo, inventory money, set money. Anyway, or maybe we can put it at the end saying that is an addition, right? Wow, APS character is pretty big. For example, this one is one of the parameters we don't want to replicate. I mean, I don't want the security level to be exposed on the client. That then maybe can be hacked or something, you know, it can be changed, and I don't want that. I think we can put it here, which is at the end of all the but it doesn't have to be protected though. I know we make the same mistake of the other day where we had okay, so we do just set security level, get security level, and the set security level, what is doing? Let me check. Go to definition. It's just doing security level equal level. I have no idea what this masquerade level is. I have zero clue. What is anyone knows what this masquerade? Any PlaneShift developers connected knows what is this masquerade level? I have freaking no idea. Zero idea. But anyway, for now we just need the security level, so it's fine. We can just say security level. Sorry. Security level equal level. I mean, it's the only thing that we need. Okay. And security level, we should declare it. Obviously, just an int. There's nothing special about it. It's just an int. I think it's in the protected area of gem actor. Yes, which makes sense. I want just to use that, so let's put it, or even private. Let's put it here for now. I would say this one is the security level set on the account, and then I can say was originally on gem actor. Okay, so we know that it was coming from there. It may be useful to check later on and say, okay, what is this? Why now is on PS character? So, but we know we moved it. Right? We moved it. So now in all these checks, we can just do, instead of this, we can just do me and then get security level, right? Instead of this, we can do login PC. Do we have a login PC? Let me check if we have a login PC. Login PC dialog we have. Now login PC dialog I think is perfect in this case. And then we have text. We open this, we close that. We just check the parentheses, they are okay. So here is sending a system error. This server sends system error. We don't use it anymore. We don't use it anymore. So I think we have this log. The send system error was basically sending to the client, displaying to the client an error. Do we have it in our translation thingy? PS Unreal, conversion. Do we have it here anywhere? So this function is actually a message from server to client. So it used to become a return parameter to the function call in Unreal Engine. Okay, good suggestion, my friend. Good suggestion. Hello, someone joined now. Welcome to the stream, whoever you are. If you want to chat, you can chat on YouTube or you can chat on Discord. To chat on YouTube, you have to just register. So the send system message. How do we convert it? Basically, it's saying it should be a return to the client, but we actually stalk interaction is not returning anything. We have our result though and our error. Okay, so I think we can put this there. We can say result equal to, yeah, I think it's probably the best. Result is a boolean or is a string? Result is a string. Okay, let's put it into that for now, and we just say results equal to, and then I have to f string printf something, printf this thing with this format, and this npc get name, what is it, is an f string. Okay, so we can just escape it this way, and sorry, this one has to be text. I think so, right? Yeah, it has to be text, and then I get, and then remember the pointer, the dereferencing for if it's an f string whenever you are using a printf. So okay, so we just send back the results, and we print out the fact that the NPC cannot speak. You see that this one we print it only for people that are level 20 or above, so meaning GMs. Okay, so because the players have security level 0 and GMs have player security above 20, depending then on their their level. But okay, so this one we did, this one we did, this one we did. I think it should be good. These were all the errors. Let's recompile again and see where we get. Let's see where we get. Suspense. Okay, it's compiling. So as soon as this compiles, we can check. We can actually go in debug, launch the client, and see where we get in terms of NPC response. if we get something valid for the MPC response. Seems compiling. No, there is still some client here and there. Okay, so in our respond method we still have one piece where the client seems to be requested, which is here, which is filter known term. So we have to study a bit this function now and see why it needs that. And filter known terms. Filter known terms. There are two though. Why? Client. So I think I removed it from there and didn't remove it from here for some reason, because this function actually takes only 2 parameters, right? Yes. Exactly. There was probably another piece calling the same, calling the same function, and then we have another one here. Yes, this one is the one where we have the current player equal to null and the current player. So this one, I think for now we can comment out. We don't need it. We are not using it. There is an error in one of the prints. It should be very easy to solve. Yes, I'm missing a pointer here. It's fine. Yeah, I'm getting a bit more quick. I mean, I'm getting quicker at fixing these errors now because I start to get used to it. Get used to it. There are typical errors when you're printing out messages. Typical errors when you are executing function. Okay, succeeded. Nice. Okay, succeeded, meaning that we can probably go and debug it, right? Because what we do now, it is all compiling, is when we do the talk interaction, we send in a message. I would debug this, okay? So let's go line by line, so we learn it a bit together. We learn exactly what it does, but I think it should be fine. So basically, we should get inside this variable response. We should get something meaningful, right? Okay, so we compiled it. Let me launch the client. I think let's just double check that I was printing out this Enkidukai, but I think I do. Just to be sure, let's launch the editor, and from the editor, where is it? Real projects, my project, Unreal scripts, editor. Okay, let's launch the editor. And by the way, now we are in 4.18, which is pretty good. Last week, I don't know if you followed, but we upgraded all the code. Well, all the code. It was super easy to do, but we changed 2 files. But we upgraded to 4.18, as you see here in the middle of the screen, 4.18.3. which is the latest stable release of Unreal. Now, do we need it? Maybe not. I mean, we could also use an older version, but it's always good to stay up to date, so we don't have to do huge changes then, in one jump. So I think every maybe 6 months we can do one upgrade. I think would be a good idea. So let's just check if our Interact UI is actually sending something. And it's sending something meaningful. Okay, so the talk interaction, I think it was the one on the left. Yes, so talk interaction, you say, for now is hard-coded, but we are sending in this Enkidukai. Okay, so we are sending this as a text to the talk interaction function we stay server side. So perfect. This is exactly what we need to know. So now we send out, we just launch the editor and the server and the client. The server and the client. Hopefully everything works. Let's see. Okay, so we just log in. Okay, so we load in with our character, and now I did something stupid, sorry guys, because I was distracted. And what I did stupid is that I didn't launch the server in the debug, so I will not be able to debug. So I have to launch the server from here and not from the standard. So server log, perfect. So we launch it from inside Visual Studio, because we want to debug and reach these breakpoints, right? So the client I can launch from the command line, it's no problem, but the server I need to launch from Visual Studio. Okay, so I relaunch the client now, and let's see just if the server loads properly. There is no issue. Should print a bunch of stuff, and then it should print like a, okay, there was a breakpoint which I think we can skip for now. There was another breakpoint where we were looking at the dialog system. Let me just get a drink while it loads, but I think it should be fine. I think it's here already. The server is loading up. Okay. Is it done, or I think it's done, right? How do we know if it's done? Yes, all this level streaming, which was not shown before, but it's fine. So we log in again. Yes, our server is answering properly, so we managed to log in. We just go with our character here. We play. So now I'm expecting the win. I speak with the lady, which is in the darkest area of the map. I'm sorry, we just put her there randomly, and she's in the darkest alley ever, so she's here. Right, but anyway, when we speak with her, clicking this interact, the server will trigger the breakpoint, right? Hopefully it didn't. Interesting. Why it didn't do it? It didn't do it. Okay, let's follow the talk interaction, maybe. The breakpoint will not currently be hit. The source code is different from the original version. Is this a freaking auto load messing with me? I think it is. Let me check. So when this happens, means that for some reason the server is loading something different. Right? It happened to me already a few times. It's pretty annoying. Is just the fact. Let me check. PS Unreal source. So here under binaries, I will show you inside. So here under binaries, I think we have something not working as we want. Right? Win64 debug game. this one is being created the 25. You see that this UI editor PS Unreal DLL is still from the 21 of February. So this one for some reason is not getting regenerated, but someone is using this. Now who's using this? You see, I cannot change it. I cannot delete it because there is someone using it. I don't think it's the client. I think it's actually the server. It's so annoying that it does this. Why it cannot just use the latest? If anyone in the chat knows, please let me know because I'm so annoyed. So you see, I cannot delete it. I cannot delete it because the server is still running. If I stop the server, and now I can delete it. You see? So stupid. And now, if I do maybe something like this, and I put in this file the right one, let me see if he asks me to compile it or not. Anyone knows why I'm splitting with these two DLLs? Freaking annoying. Okay, it's loading now. I think it's now reading the right one. It's not reading anymore the bad one. Yes. Okay, so we go here, we go under scripts, and we just launch the client. We hit the breakpoint, which is fine. We launch the client, reconnect, and we test this. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the blacksmith. I don't know why in the ground here, you see there are two like super gray lines. There is supposed to be a transparent thingy, but for some reason it's not working as expected. I think I probably just missed a flag on transparent texture or something. Maybe I just miss it. Can check that later on. Okay, so I'm here. Let's see if I click on this mouth icon. It's not going through it. I'm a bit surprised now. Why is not going through this breakpoint? Why is not going through this breakpoint, boys? Let's see if we get any errors on the server. So on the server side, we get clan character interact. The more in female character is what we get. I guess as more as I press on this, I get more of these messages. Yes. That is the client side. On the server side, I don't get any message when I click this. That is not good. That is not good. Why is not going through? It's not calling the server basically. It's not calling the server. Okay. To find this out, we go in our editor and we just check if the event is probably connected and if it's actually calling this talk interaction function, which it must. So I don't know why it's not doing it. Maybe I just mistyped it or I did something stupid on the client side. Let's see. So we go to our interact UI. There is the button that I was pressing, and here is the function. Maybe it's just not connected for whatever reason. So when this is buttoned down, we take the current player controller, which is here, we cast it to Planeship player controller, we get a controller pawn, we cast it to, so or one of these casts is failing, which could be, first cast fails. I mean, or there is something like here that is not working. Or there is maybe another one here. You can say second cast failed, right? Why should not as Planeship player controller target gain control pawn and is casting it to PS character blueprint, and then it's calling interact. Interact is actually an event. Why I cannot open it? This is the problem, I think. There is the problem. There is something not working here. This function interact target is PS character blueprint. Okay. Why that interact? Interact is here. Okay, let's close it for a second and see if it opens up when I click on this. Yes, it does. Okay. Then I call this interact. I'm checking the interact character and printing the interact thingies. We were seeing on the client, right? On the client, we were seeing that the Cran was interacting with the Dermorian female, so I think it's fine, right? And then after this, when we executed this, did this combine? Do I need to return something? Function entry. I don't think he has any return value, right? No, so I just arrive here. Okay, so this should be working. Then when I finish this, I go into talk interaction. Oh, there is an error here. You see it? Error. Okay, why? Because I changed. Maybe because I changed the. Oh my god, it's opening. It's opening another Visual Studio because I double clicked on it. No. I have already my Visual Studio. Don't mess up with me. It's okay. It's okay. What he said is that probably the parameters are different, right? Because I have a target, trigger, result, and error. Maybe these parameters are no more target, trigger. Yeah, I think it's no more as it was. So I think I need to delete this and just talk interaction. It says this one. Target, trigger, result, and error. Okay, yes, I think it was old. Then we put this text that we are receiving from the talk interaction into this trigger. Target is player controller base. We are inside a player controller, so should not be a problem. We leave it as it is. The actual target should be why this one is not filled in, because actually we have the target. The target is this guy. Why this talk interaction doesn't has a target as an input? Wow, I'm confused now. So this target is that target. This talk interaction is that one, right? Why this one has a target as an input? Is receiving target as an input? Is receiving target as an input, but this one is not. I'm very confused. Save, compile. Let me just check that everything is saved and compiled so that we are sure that we have consistency, you know, between the different. Any of you in the chat knows why custom event run on server? It only has one input, which is text. Let me redo it and see what it does. Talk interaction. So if I have to call this talk interaction event, wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. This target, this practice, the name target is super misleading. Target is the target of this function, okay, which is a player controller, is not the target of our interaction with the NPC. It's not the NPC. This one is not the NPC. This one is the so we needed two of those. We need another target. Target interact. This is why I do it. I did it like this here. You see. So we need okay. So this was the mess. So we need here another thingy which is called target interact, which is probably more understandable. And here we have a PS character blueprint, right? Yes, this is my target interact. So this one actually we go here, right? And now is definitely better because I have, it's just this target is messing me up all the time. It's messing me up all the time. You see that now we have a target interact. So the selected interaction is this one. For now we need the text. Okay, for now the text is like are coded, but it's fine. I mean, we don't care about it too much. Yeah, we don't care about it too much. And so we called our target interaction with this text and this target. So we have the lady in. Okay. Okay, so let's save this, compile, save, compile. Everything is saved and compiled. Okay, we can exit. We can exit. I just want to double check that it didn't do any mess in my Win64 directory. No, it didn't. So I think it's fine. So we can restart the server inside Visual Studio and we start the client outside. And we go from here. And we go from here. I don't know if the server is up already. We will need sooner or later the server, I mean like something that tells us if the server is up or not. It's on the breakpoint, okay, and the other breakpoint, not the one that we want, but it's on the other breakpoint. The client will complain a bit because okay, he waited. I don't know. I think he has a timeout like a few minutes, so we managed to wait the server to be online and then connect, which is fine. Okay, so we go there. We go here. We go here. We go here. We go here. Go here, boom. Let's see. Here is the lady. So we click on the interact. Okay, finally we reach our trigger. Okay, so yeah, there was the issue. In the blueprints we had some mess. So we reach our breakpoint. Now the client will time out, but it's fine. We don't care. So let's just debug this piece of code to see where it goes, right? So target is actually the NPC, right? And is the Dermorian character, as you see here, is saying Dermorian character something, so it's fine. The trigger is actually Enkidu card. Nice. The result is empty, the error is empty. Okay, we print this. We get the pawn of this guy. That's fine. We get the NPC is actually the target. If there is an NPC, we go here, we lowercase of the trigger. And now here is where the fun part starts, you know, because here we are getting our NPC dialogue, which I hope is valid. Is valid. He has 3 knowledge areas on it. One is male Enki, right? Which is good. So if it's valid, we go inside of this. We check the distance between us and the NPC. The distance is, holy fuck. The distance is 139. Why so high? Because it's in centimeters. It's in centimeters. So it's 13,000. But it's not correct, boys. I mean, why so? Okay, let's client time it down, but why so big? I mean, our NPC dialogue distance at the moment is 10, I think. So obviously 10 meters. We have to express it in, yeah, it's 10. We have to express it in centimeters. Okay, we can divide it by y. The distance between us and the lady, it was accounted to be 13,000. I mean, even if it's centimeters, mean it's 13 meters away. No, 135 meters away. How is this possible? 135 meters away is impossible. It's not correct. This get distance too is not giving us the right value. Okay, let's just skip it. I think we don't, for now, we skip it because we want to see if the rest of the code is correct. So we assume the distance is fine, but this one definitely has to be fixed. We print out the fact that we are checking this trigger. So if we go on the server side, let me see, but we print, yes, dermef character, checking trigger, and Kidokai. Nice. Here we get our response. Okay, let's just go. Let's not go in and see if it works. Boom. Okay, I was expecting something like this. Okay, it just crashed. It crashed here. So we have to debug it a bit more and say respond. Respond. Just a second. Talk interaction. Okay, from here, respond trigger is correct. Me is correct. But then when we go inside of this function, for some reason, it crashes very badly. Where is it crashing? It's crashing under trigger. Term length. What is this term length? I don't even know if it exists. Term lengths. For sure it exists, but term lengths. Find known terms. No, it's not this. Sorry, crashed here. It crashed the line before. Filter known terms. Okay, of Enkidukai and trigger. This trigger is a bit fucked up. He has one term, but it's completely invalid. Probably because we are returning. This is probably the return, right? Final term. I don't know exactly what this is doing, but it's returning. I think it's returning the value. Yes, yes. Okay, let's go in. So find known terms, text and trigger. So here. Convert the word array to TRA F string with space separator. Verify if this assumption is enough. I think we need to debug this and see exactly what happens here, because okay, here we get in text, we are parsing this into an array. The array, well, the array is correct. It has only one element, which is Enkidukai. Then we find this words.num. Why say 0? Should be 1. words. No, zero. Find first word when a candidate. Punish to try if not dictionary is loaded. Recognize phrase in. Did it print out this? Yes, recognizing phrasing in Kidokai. Okay, this one is printed out, so we arrive here without an issue. Then first word minor. First word we put it to 0. We cycle on this trigger term length. I don't know what is this term length, by the way. Wait. Term length. I just returned terms.num. Okay, well, it's not a very useful function, but trigger is actually what? Trigger is actually an NPC trigger sentence. Okay, so it goes inside of this. And then it crashes. What is this get string? Trigger get string. Maybe the mess is just here. Maybe the mess is here. This was a way to print out the string of the trigger in a proper way, but I think that maybe we're not initializing it properly, and so it's crashing. So that's the problem we are having now. That's the problem we are having now. This trigger is kind of fucked up. Yes, it's completely fucked up. You see, it's all invalid pointers. So where we are using this trigger, we are using it here, and then here, and then here, but it's never initialized though. Filter non-terms. Trigger. This trigger is never initialized anyway. I think we never do a kind of a new trigger, whatever, right? We do NPC triggers. Okay, but it's not a pointer. It's just an object, so I think it could be fine. Could be fine. Yeah, but the problem is this trigger. When we get into this trigger, we get it back from here, and all the get strings are getting crazy. I think we need to follow it, but it's crashing on a printout actually. It's just crashing on a printout. So it's not crashing on the logic. It's crashing because they cannot print out this trigger. Trigger at the C sentence. I think it did it. But term, you see, term is already null. Candidate empty. Wow, everything is empty anyway. I think we need to debug this and see what it's doing, because I think we are. I mean, something is messed up pretty badly here. Something is messed up pretty badly here. Okay. Can we simulate something like this without going through the client and doing all that stuff? Because it would be a bit easier. If I can do it only server side, I will avoid wasting time going back and forth. What we could do, we could just well, there is also the distance thing, which is distance is messing up with us. I don't know why, but it's messing up with us. If I do something like trigger to lower. No, where is the hour tree? No, not this one. If I go into peak definition, if I do, I just want to check in the old code if this trigger sequence was actually initialized a bit better, or it was not initialized at all. Okay, so this is what I want to see. Let me check this thing. If in the old code, no, I was just saying it's the same. It was just saying trigger sentence trigger, and then it was just passing this trigger, I guess, to is this? Are in the right class? Yes, we're in the right class. Yeah, we're just passing trigger here to filter known terms. He was receiving this trigger, and then he was doing what? Just add sentence. It was exactly the same. I think we should debug it. I think we have some stupid thing that we are not seeing now, which is not doing the right thing. Like, I don't know, we're not loading the words, or the splitting the words is not correct. I don't know, there is something stupid like this. There is something very stupid like this. Okay. Let me see, meanwhile someone is chatting in Discord. No, okay, it's pretty quiet. So we go through this, we relaunch the client. Yeah, we have to find this out, otherwise cannot move forward. We have to find out what is happening. So guest. The good part of this is that when we did it once, you know, when that piece of code works once, it will work for all the phrases. It will work for everything. Alright. What? Did you crash already? What happened? I don't know. I clicked on interact and nothing happened. Come on. Did I click on it? Yes. Talk interaction. Okay. Get phone. Fine. NPC trigger. Fine. Oops. The distance. Okay. We we failed the check of the distance, and so it's going through. It's not going through. So we have to skip this check for now. Otherwise, it's not going in. Okay. So let's see what it does. It's creating this array of words, which is now empty. Taking the text. Now the words is not empty anymore, and it has properly our Enkidukai phrase there. Okay, fine. We get this, which should be 1. It is 1. First word is 0. Perfect. Candidate is empty. Okay. Dictionary we have. We print out this. Now I'm just a bit surprised. What is the term length? Let me just go in. First word is 0. Word 1 is none. And trigger term length minimum of. Okay. So we search for a candidate. Candidate is words of 0. Which is our Enkidukai. Okay, so we go in, find term or synonym into this thing. Let's assume it works and see what we get back. What we are expecting here, find terms of synonym. I don't know what we are expecting, but we are expecting this thing not to be empty, I think. Unfortunately, it is empty. Is this searching between the known phrases? I think so, right? Let's just go into this and see what it does. Okay, apart from this string conversion, is going here, is putting our term equal to the key, is doing a key blah blah blah, and then is going into our phrases. These are all the phrases that the current engine understands, the current database has defined, I think. I don't know if Enkidukai should be here or not. Tell me about Sure, Sans Fair, Salou, Peach. I think these are all the ones that we know what they are. Okay, that we know what they are. So it's correct that it returns 0. So it's returned that it returns nothing. Okay, returns nothing. There is no. This is not a known term, so it's a new term. Okay. If he knows it, he adds it to the trigger. If he's not, no words in phrase major than 1. No. Try streaming the word to see if it matches. Assume all words unknown. Commented morph word to char known. Here I did something. You fix me. There is a new fix me. That is probably where we did the mess, boys. That is probably where we did the mess. I just to have it compile, I did some simplification, and now we need it. Let's go search the old code. Wow. What the fuck? What was this? Is the old code, right? What was the old code doing? Was taking the candidate, which is our phrase. We're just getting the data of it. Was going inside his morph word, which I don't know what is it. It may come from WordNet. Yes, it's inside WordNet actually. Try to find base form of it without word in pause. I think what it's trying to do is trying to search for well, anyway, the only is morphing the word into something else that he knows better. So let's say that you have apple, and maybe change it to fruit, something like that. I don't know. It's changing it based on. Well, I think it's okay that we commented it out, because here we still have our candidate proper. Morphed is not true, so I think it's fine. So we go through this. What the fuck? Okay, this is where we make the mess. Yes. Because for some reason I said if morph word is not empty, this okay, let's do it differently, otherwise is a mess. Okay, let's stop this. I think here is where we do the mess. We can do it by string. Can we call this, or is not callable? Do I have can I actually call WordNet? Because I have it. I think we can. But here the point is that we should not say morph word whatever. We should say if morph word is empty, right? Then it's a bit better. If morph word is empty, and here we should say f string morph word. Can we create it by this? Does this compile or not? we creating and taking a const chart coming out of that, because then this is a bit better, huh? Let me see if it compiles. Our client is unfortunately timed out. Hey boys, you still alive? Still listening? Or doing something else? Tell me. If you're doing something else, it's fine. It's no problem. So we try to go through this now. Right? We try to go through this and see if we get anything better. Anyway, there is another way. I mean, all the piece of code that we have morphed, that we have converted, will have to be tested. I mean, it's already a goodies that we got it for free. Well, it's not exactly for free because I worked like months on it. But anyway, we get the code for free after my porting, but we cannot assume that is actually working okay. No, we cannot assume. In fact, some pieces are usually are small bugs, you know, like this one that we found now. I mean, it's not a big bug to fix, but it's there. Would be very happy if by today we get a proper answer. If we get a proper answer back, I think we are good. Okay, so we are here. We click on this. We go in debug. We just keep the distance for now, and then we will find out why this distance is it's fucking up with us. Then we are inside of this thing. Okay, we are inside of this thing, and I want to see the piece that we were executing. Where was that? Is here, huh? It's down here. Okay, the candidate is fine. Search the term, search the morph. Let's see what it does here, if it crashes or whatever. Okay, it's empty. So if it's empty, fuck. If it's not empty, we should do this. Not if it's empty. If it's not empty, we do this. Otherwise, we go through. Okay. So we go through. Can I move it? No, it doesn't allow me to because I changed that. I want to move this here. Okay. And then I have to remember to do if not empty. Then morph equal to false. The source has changed. I know the source has changed. Don't worry. First word plus plus. How many words in phrase I have? I have this minus first word, which is 1. Nums word in phrase is 0 now. Okay. Now I run again, and at this point I have nothing else to do, and I will say phrase recognized is getting printed out. Right? Phrase recognized is printed out as empty. Why is printed out as empty? Our trigger got fucked. We lost our trigger. No, trigger was never there. I think there is something. I think the logic. I don't know. We are not getting what we want to get, because basically we are getting an empty trigger. Failed filter known terms check. Clear punctuation, error response. So we're basically getting an error back. It is returning an error, so it's not going through. It's not giving us a response. Yeah, it's not giving us a response. because the response is down here. So it's not giving us a response. Now, why our trigger is not properly set? Let me just check this response, what it is. It's just a null value, so pretty bad. Pretty bad. The world is ending, my boys. Okay, so no, this find response didn't actually work at all. Didn't work at all. Didn't work at all. I'm just wondering if that known words should actually return something, because to me it looked like it was just searching for let me check. So if I go into our database, right, what are the triggers? Because then at the end we need the triggers. The triggers are this. The triggers are greetings, how you, about you, train, repeat now, repeat, give me thing. These are the triggers. One of the triggers is Enkidukai, right? One of the triggers is this, and then we have, so I think we should debug when we are loading this trigger into the server, because I think that is what is not, it's not working. Hi Soap, welcome back. We are a bit deep into debugging this thing, unfortunately, but it's not working as expected at all. I think we are close, but there's still something fucking us up. So all these greetings, give me X, I think they are mixed with a quest. Let me check the quests. No, sorry, not the quest scripts. But I don't know if they were really all those into memory, all the triggers, right? Give me quest, can I bring the sandwich, can I bring the falcon, fury menu, our merchant, I guard. So I'm surprised that when we go into this function, which is find response, no, when we go into, not there, when we go into, what is it, yes, filter known terms, like hello is replaced with greetings. Okay, this one is basically not returning anything for our Enkidukai phrase, because it goes inside of this, and when it search for a candidate, find term or synonym. This one is the one that is fucking us up. This one is the one that is not working for us. Return synonym of a term or null if not known. If term is known but it has no synonym, then term is itself is returned. Term is known. What does it mean? It means all the terms in the okay, let's do it differently. Let's check when we are loading in these terms. We put it inside find term. Let me check this. Phrases, find wrap. So it is this phrases thing, right? When we are where we are loading these phrases. So when we do phrases dot add term, there it is. There it is. So phrases term new phrase. I think that it may be something fucked up when we do the loading. Load synonyms. Select word synonym from NPC synonyms. Oh, okay, I didn't even know we had a table called NPC synonyms. Now I know. We have a table NPC synonyms. Okay. That's fine, but like bonjour is synonym of greetings, right? Ciao is synonym of greetings. So we're just simplifying it like this, right? Which is cool, but still I don't get if I don't get if when we add new words in this synonym table, in this terms table, select word from synonyms. Is this the only place when we add new terms? MPC term. Okay, this one is loading only synonyms. That's fine. Is this the only place where you do add term? Bit surprised though. Bit surprised. We should have another function when dictionary is loading, where we are adding in, you know, when we are loading response, exactly when you are loading triggers and loading responses. So where we are loading triggers, right? Loading triggers. So here is where we load our Enkidukai thingy. So I am expecting that this goes. Where does it go? It goes into new triggers, parse multi-trigger. The trigger has been found. We can delete the trigger. Okay. New trigger. So parse multi-trigger, new trigger. So all of this. Make sure these triggers word are known in the word list. Okay. Okay. So this I think is the point. Word times, exchange trigger, word length, get word number. Are we adding this thing is into our known in our phrases, right? Found synonym phrases dot add. Okay, so I think what we should do, we should just check that after this function is executed when we load our server, phrases is actually containing our trigger. So we can put a breakpoint anywhere here, I mean anywhere we want, and just check that that particular trigger is loaded, because I think we still have some issue here. We have some issue maybe in this code, the startup code of the server, which is not loading properly our triggers. I have this feeling, because otherwise, and these are the two. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. So I just F5. I don't need the client. Client can stay, well, client can stay open if you want, but I think if it stays open, maybe we'll not be able to compile, let's say, because there are some DLLs in common, and if he tries to save a DLL, it will say it's not working. Exactly. Okay. I have to close the client basically. Okay, close the client. And we go, boys. And we go. And we go. I'm expecting to reach this trigger very soon. Boom. Okay, we reached this trigger, right? So now here we are loading all the triggers from the database. The trigger from the database are this list, which is triggers, where is it? Responses, triggers, this list, which contains our Enkidukai. So I'm expecting at the end of this function to have our freaking Enkidukai on it, right? So new trigger, for example, what is this one? This one is greetings, right? This one is greetings. If I do F5, there will be another one. This one is general. No, it's how are you? How are you? Right? And so on and so on and so on and so on. So all these triggers are now getting loaded. And where do I see the total? I think it's phrases. Let me check if I check phrases. Yes, phrases is the total. No, but phrases is not really. Is it? let me see one. Okay, so if I go here, I go here, I go here, I go here, I go here. These add words should be adding the trigger to the known words which is inside phrases, right? Because at the end we've seen here that there was a phrase dot add, right? Okay, so I'm expecting this trigger which is goodbye to be added somewhere. Okay, it goes, it goes, it goes, it goes, it goes, it goes. Is it found or not? It's not found. Is found already? I don't know. Else, okay, this one maybe is found already because it was already an existing trigger. Goodbye, goodbye. We have already. So we should, I think, skip until we have our Enkidukai thing. Can I breakpoint on the value? Yeah, I think I can. I don't know how to do it though. But I think it's possible to have a conditional breakpoint where you say that a certain value is true is equal to something. But I don't know. Let me go here. Let me put the breakpoint here actually. And then we do trigger, new trigger, new trigger. I just deleted it. Okay, nice. No, I didn't delete it. It's called, sorry, it's called new trig. New trig. Okay, new trig. So if I open this and we just F5, we will see this thing refreshing, right? So you see now is Smith about you. Now is Smith train, is merchant train, merchant money, general repeat, general whatever. I want to reach the point which we should reach, which is so questmaster, disk master, and we are is basically loading the database one by one, right? It's loading this thing one by one. You see, it's going through the list. It will reach our Enkidukai thingy for sure. It will. Greetings, give me fruit, give me pear, give me plum, about you, blah 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 blah. Short range, long range. Okay, I think we are close. Winch up, winch down. What is this? Winch up, winch down. We are very close. We are 5 to go. Unknown, any range, bring me up. Greetings. Okay, here it is, Enkidukai. Okay, this one is the trigger that we want to be added properly. Right? Right? So this one is the one that we want him to add here in AdWords. So let's say I do F10. I have my new triggers. There is one word. One word is Enkidukai. Perfect. Then I go here. For each new trigger, I take my new trigger. I don't know what it's doing, blah blah blah. But anyway, I have my Enkidukai there. If the length is 0, it should not be. Okay, and then I go inside of this. Inside of this, I get my word. I get my thingy. My word is temp. I don't know why, because it's been defined up there. I enter this thing. I get the word number of my trigger. It should be 1. Yes, my trigger is now Enkidukai. My word is now Enkidukai, so it's perfect. It's perfect. I check if it's a disallowed word. I hope it's not. In fact, it's not. And so I jump down here. And then I search if this one already exists in database. Right? Now, this should be empty. This should return false. Right? Found is returning a null, so I'm expecting this to skip. Go here, create a new NPC term is correct, and now we add this to phrases. So phrases doesn't have our Enkidukai thing for now. After this line, it will have. Okay. I don't know why 79 is fucked up. 79 is fucked up. 78 is correct, is yourself, but 79 is kind of empty. Yes, I don't know, maybe the previous one was bad. What was the previous one? The previous one was greetings with 2T. Greetings. Still valid anyway. I mean, no? You should add it as a phrase as well. Who cares if you spelled wrong? Right. I don't know, but we have 79, which is broken. 79 is broken, boys. Maybe it's that. Let's see. So it goes in. Let's go in. Let's go in. Let's go in. Sorry, pressed and the wrong screen. So okay, this one we don't care. This one we don't care. This one we don't care. Oops. Wait a second. What happened? It skipped on me. It skipped on me. What the fuck? It skipped. It skipped. I cannot believe it. So there is some error in the previous record, or now the array is not working, and so when we do this, it fucks up. What happened? We were inside AdWords and we were adding our word, but it didn't work. And now we are still in our trigger and Kirukai. Okay. We did this already though. Get word number. We are searching the next word. Okay, in this trigger. We are searching the next word in this trigger. Which doesn't exist, and so it returns. The problem is that it didn't add it. It did not add Enkidukai to the list of known areas. For some freaking reason, it didn't do it. If not this, then it types this. It skips it. Yeah, it's not doing it. So we have a problem here. That trigger is not loaded into the memory of the NPC. So the NPC will never answer to that because it's not loaded properly. It's not loaded properly, boys. It's not loaded properly, boys. So this find knowledge area is searching where? It's searching inside knowledge area. Why knowledge area is empty, by the way? Knowledge areas is empty? Knowledge areas is empty? Cannot be empty. There is another problem, or anyway, maybe is the problem. Because we already loaded a lot of knowledge areas by now, like winch movers, general, Dickmaster, all these are knowledge areas. Why none of these areas are in the knowledge areas list? This may be the issue, huh? This might be the issue. Let me check. Knowledge areas, right? Knowledge areas. Empty. This one is completely empty. How it can be empty? Okay. I think. Sorry, let me just search the old code. Maybe I did something stupid and I ported it wrong. So if I go find knowledge area, we are exactly in this place, right? AdWords, new trigger, find knowledge area, new trigger area, new trigger area. So for some reason, knowledge areas put unique. It is knowledge area add only here, or there is any other place? No, there is also other places. Add trigger 908. Where are we? So there is one which is add trigger, NPC dialog, and another one which is load triggers. Okay, maybe one is used, but these are the only two places where we are adding knowledge areas, boys. So there is a problem. There is a problem. There is definitely an issue. So let me try to understand a bit better why our knowledge areas are not loaded. So when we initialize this thing, we do load is allowed word, load scene, load triggers. Okay, so if I go in the old code, unfortunately InDB is not the name, so we do exactly the same, right? It is exactly the same. Now, why my knowledge areas are not loaded in? It should be inside load triggers. Exactly, it should be here. Absolutely, it should be here, but for some reason it's not doing it. It should enter here, but it never enters here. Basically, it never enters here. Let's try to remove the breakpoint for a second and just put a breakpoint here and see if there is any knowledge areas is trying to load. But I think that this function is fucked up. I think we messed up something. And probably this is also the reason why we cannot go through the other piece of the code, because it's associated to a knowledge area. The knowledge areas are not loaded and everything goes crazy. I thought it was simpler, but seems it's not very simple, boys. I thought it was simpler to go through this, but it's harder than I thought. Okay, setup dialog. You see, the server is loading and it never went through that, so it never added a single knowledge area. He never added one. He never went through this, so this one is always returning something bad. I don't know why, but it's always returning something broken. There is not working. This search here is not working. Temp, probably is this thing. I don't know what this is, but it looks very weird to me as a return value. I think it's this one. I guess it's this one. Maybe it was working with the previous objects, but it's not working. Let me search it in the old code. Yeah, that is the error, I think. Okay, let's go and check. Maybe we have it. Believe. Do you believe that we can do it? Do you believe that we can? Okay. Find knowledge area. This function never works. Okay, so that's the point. What it's doing? It's just entering a simple string, general. It's putting it into this other string just to waste some cycles, but anyway. It's making it to lower, then he's searching it into the existing knowledge areas, and I assume that it's not finding shit. So if we go here and we search, okay, there is this find ref, we cannot really debug it, but anyway, it's not finding anything. Then what is saying? It's saying if temp which is empty by the way, is different from fallback. Our fallback is this. What the fuck? Why this function is not just returning a boolean and we just, I mean, I don't understand this. Why this is not just returning? Why we did it like this? Probably because the code was not ours, huh? This is an unreal function, right? The find ref. And find ref is returning so it is in line. Find ref finds the value associated with a specific key. Return the value associated within the specified key or the default value for the value type if the key isn't contained in this map. Now, what else is the default value for the value type if the key isn't contained? The default value, the value type. So the default value of a string. What is the default value of a string? An empty string. Okay. I mean, we can just do if temp is empty. I mean, I don't know why we are doing these crazy things. I don't know. I can say was temp different in fallback. I mean, just to leave it there. I don't know. Maybe we're doing something more smart that I can understand, but I don't think so. So I think it's just the porting of the old code that fucked us up here. So so what we do, we just check if is not finding it. So if is empty, we return true in this case. I think it wants to return false, by the way, because our find knowledge area at the previous trigger was saying, okay, this was saying if not, right? If not, so if it's not empty, we go there, right? So so if we find it, then it's there already. We should not add it back. So if this is empty, means that we have to add it, right? If it's empty, then we need to add it. So if this returns true, we need to add it. So we should remove the exclamation point here. We say if knowledge area. Well, I would prefer to leave the return type the same though, because if we change, so let's just do if not temp is empty, okay? So it returns the opposite. So this function is basically returning the same boolean as it was before, right? I think it's better. So if there are other functions calling the same function, we will not mess up the return. Wow, we can do this. Don't lose the faith. Don't lose the faith. Don't lose it. Okay. Now we're going through this again and see if we get our proper knowledge areas loaded. So now is here, okay? The trigger is general. I'm expecting to go to the next line. Well, okay. I'm expecting here to go there, to return is not empty, and then to go inside. Okay, finally. So we are adding our key. Okay, so now our knowledge area has one value, which is general. Right? Perfect. Okay. Now this works properly. The only thing is now okay, so let's assume that the loading of the triggers works okay now. So let's assume for a second that this piece of code works okay. And okay, let's assume that it works. Okay, yes. This was an old thingy, we can remove it. We should now reach. No, we're not reaching the other breakpoint. So now, where was the other breakpoint? Sorry. So now all the knowledge areas are loaded properly. Now I want to see if my phrases is okay. right? When we load in the triggers. I want to see if my phrase. Let me see if I pause this and I just check phrases. Seems to be identical though. No, I cannot do this. I cannot do it like this. I have to put a breakpoint and everything. Blah blah blah. Okay, so where is our phrases in the NPC dialog? Okay, here replace the current. So we were here, right? We were inside respond. No, I don't want this. I want when I load the trigger. I don't want the respond yet. I want the trigger when we load the trigger at the beginning. At the beginning, where was this? It's not here. It's not here. Was not here. It is still respond. Huh? We were here, huh? Morph words. No, we were not here. Sorry, I lost a bit the thingy. We were inside, I think, dictionary, and we were loading triggers. Okay. Why I remove the breakpoint from here? Because I want to see if after loading all these triggers, my phrases exactly here. Okay. Okay. Let's redo it. I think I have it now. I want to see if now phrases is loading properly, because we were missing all the knowledge areas before, and so I think that all the ones associated to specific knowledge areas were actually not loaded. Well, just for that simple line, huh? One line was messing up all our loading. Okay, let's see. My phrases is having 80 elements. Okay. Now I want these AdWords to add a new one, which I hope it will do. It doesn't. Because maybe this one is just general greetings. Okay, this one is okay. I mean, this one is okay. This one is okay. But you see that now our knowledge areas is containing general, right? So our knowledge areas now is loaded with one of these things. Okay, so I do F5 again. I get our trigger, which is new trigger, which is general goodbye, general about you. So here, for example, we have a new knowledge area. See Smith, and finally I have knowledge area equal to 2. So now it's working properly. At least this piece is working as expected. So I go. I reach our knowledge area where we have Enkidukai, winch movers, general, NPC room, winch movers, greetings. Okay, here it is. This one should create a new knowledge area, which is actually the male Enki knowledge area, and you should add Enkidukai as a trigger to it. Right? The only thing I'm not understanding if he's adding also elements inside phrases. That is what is making me wonder. But let's see. Let's follow this line by line. Okay, so add words. So he's trying to add Enkidukai again. So I go inside here, F11. I enter here. I have my trigger. I check the length. I see if this word is okay, if it's disallowed, it's not disallowed. I search it inside phrases to see if it exists already. word and kilokai, right? I should not find it. Exactly. So it's not found. It's not found. Now I go here and I add it, right? But this thing seems not to be working for some reason. So let's say F10 found new NPC term. I think this new NPC term is completely fucked up. You see the result? The result is completely crazy. Okay, so there is the one we have to debug again. So this one I think is not working as expected. So it's taking Enkiduka as an input. What is this doing? Oh, there is an old error. That is why it's fucked up. Okay, now we know. Yes, the teacher to ANSI is actually a function that can that can mess up things quite a bit. Why we do it like this? Can we just have this thing initialized with an f string instead of doing this shit of double conversion? Yeah, I think we should. I mean, we are yeah. Okay. Let's just do an f string so I don't have to convert it again, and I can just do in term to lower here, which I do anyway. And so at this point, I think in the, what is the definition of this? I need the definition. Is inside dictionary? No. Is here. I need the constructor of this. We change it and we just put it as f string. Which I don't know if he's complaining because now there are two which are similar. What is this thing? Why we have these two constructors here which are basically identical? One is passing a reference and the other one is not. I don't think it will compile like this, let's say. I think it may complain quite a bit. Because now we have two constructors which is basically doing the same thing, right? With the same similar signature. But yeah, the error was that we were returning basically an invalid pointer. Apart from the fact that our knowledge areas were not loaded properly, but that one we fixed. That one we fixed. Yes. Ambiguous call. I was expecting this because now it basically has two functions that are pretty much the same. I don't know why I created two. Maybe I created two just because I wanted it to compile properly. But it's pretty weird that we have those two very similar constructors. Let me just check in the old code. Is npc term. This npc term. I don't think I have it open. I have it open. Nice. What the hell? No, there was only one constructor in the old code. Why I created two? There is some reason for sure why I was doing this, but I think it's not a good idea. So we can just have one now and see. maybe there were two parts of the code using things slightly differently, and sorry, I also have to remove this one then. Was the earliest days. I mean, when I was converting this, I was just trying to have the server compile, and I think I did some stuff only to have it compile. There's not a specific specific reason why I created two constructors which were basically looking the same. We have a lot of const char pointers in the code, while probably we should use f-string everywhere. I still don't know if at the end the f-string is bringing some burden. Maybe it does, but not fully sure. I think what we can do, I think I need to stop now for about 2 hours, but I can go back and stream again. Okay, so I will probably stop the stream now and come back in 2 hours. And come back in 2 hours if that's fine with you. Okay. Because I have to finish a few things, but I think we are close. We did some progress, not a lot of progress I have to say, unfortunately. I was hoping for more, but we can maybe finish it tonight. Okay, maybe tonight we can finish it. Okay, so I'm stopping the stream for now, and I will see you in a few. Okay, in about 2 hours if you are here. See you later, boys.